Hey, it's your old pal Slim, and this is 70mm, a podcast for film lovers just like you. Every Monday, I chat about recently watched movies with my close friend and artist, Danny Haas.
I'm not clicking on any more photos in the Discord tonight. Bamboozled left and right.
And our spiritual advisor and movie insider, Protolexis.
Oh my gosh, look at her play more than one character. Wow.
Our feature discussion later in this episode is kicking off our new theme for November, movies about movies. Danny's pick was Hail Caesar from Joel and Ethan Coen. If you've been enjoying this show, maybe consider leaving us a review or rating on Apple Podcasts, as it helps new friends discover the show. Is Hail Caesar just another shiny Wes Anderson ensemble movie in wolf's clothes? Or is it a funny and thought-provoking comment on capitalism in modern day? Let's find out together. There was a watch party in our Discord this week.
Really?
Did you see the watch party shenanigans that happened in our VHS Village Discord, Danny?
I saw the letterbox logs coming in for this specific movie. Mm-hmm. And then I realized I missed another watch party.
Twilight the New Moon watch party took place. All these letterbox logs coming in hot and heavy, flying across your letterbox app, home screen. Proto, what do you think about the Twilight the New Moon watch party that took place in that movie?
I love that there's watch parties going on. I'm going to check out V'ger. What's the New Moon Village rating?
V'ger, our supercomputer that you built that loves movies and loves to keep logs of everyone's averages in our supporter group.
How does this work?
How does this V'ger work?
Twilight New Moon. How do I find
There's
this
a PC
movie?
behind Proto like slowly booting up and the fans are starting to spin as V'ger.
Average rating 2.5 stars in the Village.
Oh my God.
2.39.
Oh gosh.
Sheesh.
Not bad.
You know, I watched an episode of Cabinet of Curiosities directed by the director of Twilight. Is it Catherine Hardwicke?
Thank you. I knew I was right.
She did an episode of Guillermo's anthology series.
How are you liking that so far? Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to make it through.
Yeah.
You know, there any anthology series, there's going to be some duds.
How many duds have there been?
Maybe 3 or 4.
How many have you watched?
6 or 7. I'm just counting the hours until I get to the Jennifer Kent one. But there's also at the second to last one. What's that one director? Cosimotis? Does that name ring a bell? Panos Cosimotis? Yeah, he did Mandy.
Oh yeah,
Panos Cosmatos. But he has an episode of Cabinet of Curiosity. So I think it ends with his episode, and then I have Jennifer Kent. So hopefully going off with a bang.
Heavy on the back end, this anthology.
Yeah, you got to push hard in the back end for these anthologies. So we're getting there, you know? Later in this episode, use the chapters. If you want to skip right to the Coens chat, you know, there's some Coens heads out there. Sorry, I can't say it. I'm not going to say it's so dumb.
Coen heads.
If you want to skip right to that chat, you can use the chapters. But this is the first time we're doing a Coen Brothers feature presentation since May 11th, 2020 for Miller's Crossing. Remember that episode with H of Dune Pod?
H, yes.
The great H.
What an ep. His favorite movie. I think we all gave that 3 stars.
Did I hit 3 on that? Lord have mercy.
I mean, I'm going to check the tapes.
I think that was the first episode that I started making Spotify playlists of episodes where Proto called Danny an idiot. I can't remember the context, but that was a vivid memory that I have.
Makes sense.
Wow.
It tracks.
There is another thing I want to talk about, which we didn't talk about last week, but I'm not sure if it was like a backdated log, but Danny rated and reviewed Tangled. And you said it's maybe your favorite Disney movie? Can you elaborate on this statement? Because that's a pretty big statement.
Well, there's like the two eras of Disney in my books. There's the 2D animation and then there's the new Disney Studios animation. The 3D stuff, the Tangleds, the Frozens, the Moanas. So in this era of Disney, I rank Tangled up there as the best. I really do love this film. It checks all the boxes for me. Great villain, great cast, great songs. It's stood the test of time of CG animation to where it still looks amazing. Yeah, I love this film. It's honestly probably tied with Moana, but I come back to this one a little bit more, I think. If a child wasn't watching it every day, like Moana was in our life.
Love the horse in Tangled. Is that Samson?
The horse, Max.
Max? Is it Maximus?
It's probably. I don't remember.
Can we get someone on this?
Yeah.
Does anyone know in chat?
Yeah, the chameleon, the horse. Mother Gothel's such a great villain. But Mandy Moore and Zachary Levi, however you want to say his last name.
Nobody knows.
That's a perfect duo for this film.
This is the movie that has that meme.
Which meme?
Right? Like when you give a wrong opinion about something and it's like a dude surrounded by swords. Is that what that movie is? Is that from this movie?
Yeah. That's from one of the songs.
When's Disney Princess Month?
Disney Princess Month, excuse me.
Can you imagine?
I mean, I would definitely be going back to the Renaissance for that, but that'd be a great month.
Can you imagine it?
That's a good idea. Put that
Should
in
we?
the doc.
Put that on the doc.
What's a good month for that?
Can't hurt to put it in the doc.
Yeah, we'll get it in the doc.
We haven't figured out January.
Let's doc it.
Did you watch anything else, Danny?
We did. I forgot to log a couple of things, mainly because they were rewatches. We watched 3 of the Universal movie monsters, Frankenstein, Dracula, and Creature from the Black Lagoon, which is my personal fave of the Universal movie monsters. And we watched Creature on, I think we watched all 3, but we watched them on Criterion.
What?
Criterion has a nice little Universal Monsters playlist right now. And the quality of these streams were incredible. There was a couple of shots in Creature that were just really gorgeous. And I was wondering what they were, because I know they had released the 4Ks for the 90th anniversary of these films or whatever, that box set. But I don't know if Creature was a part of it, but maybe it was. But these looked great on Criterion. They were really beautiful streams. The black and white look great. I mean, the underwater stuff in Creature always is like my favorite bits. But yeah, I had a great time watching those.
Criterion's stream quality is great. I feel like we watched a movie for the show. Was it Harakiri? Maybe on Criterion.
Yeah, I think maybe.
Or it was one of the other. Was the trilogy we did, the Human Condition trilogy? But looked fantastic on there.
Yeah, yeah, they got a great stream going on.
High bit rate.
Yeah, their ping is low. They got a low ping.
Before we get to Proto, let's say hello to new patrons who joined us on patreon.com/70mm. Rory and Ian joined, got access to the VHS Village Discord, discounts on Danny's beautiful artwork on our storefront, which is linked in the episode notes. I'm trying to think of what was our most recent supporter episode. It was the Sopranos pilot season episode.
Oh, goodness.
What a run. It's almost time for another one.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Get back in there.
Time for Gilmore Girls.
What did you say, Gilmore
What did you
Girls?
just confirm?
Just kidding.
It's sick. It's sick. Chat's not happy with us tonight. The villain of the evening, it looks like. Speaking of villain of the evening, let me read a quote from one of Proto's recent reviews. Quote, Kristen Stewart performing an autopsy on my body with this acting. And that's from your Crimes of the Future review. The Cronenberg dream is already over for Proto.
No, it's not over. Come on. Yes, we all saw it. Crimes of the Future is streaming on Hulu. I'd been waiting for this movie to pop up. Cronenberg's latest feature from last year. So I put it on. Actually, I watched it Halloween night. How about that? And yeah, I'm not. I just, I'm not a Kristen Stewart fan. I don't know what it is. Her just acting is not for me. But there was other great performances in that. Viggo Mortensen is fantastic in it. There's also the French lady. I don't know how to pronounce Léa Seydoux. I have no idea.
Nailed it.
Those two are fantastic. They're pretty much the leads. But again, this is kind of pretty typical experience with Cronenberg for me, where he has amazing ideas. They're portrayed in really cool ways. Interesting characters and the actors who are, fulfilling the roles are great. But it just doesn't come together for me. This movie was just, I don't know, it's just kind of a slog. It doesn't really seem to make sense or know where it's going, and just didn't really work for me. It's not as, I would say, body horror. It's not as heavy as his other movies, or maybe I'm just kind of used to it at this point. But there was no points where I was like squeamish, where I like couldn't look at the screen.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that was, that was okay that it wasn't that bad. But it's a really bizarre movie. But again, I'm glad I watched it. I gave it 2 stars, but again, his movies are always fascinating enough that they're worth the watch for me.
I haven't seen that movie yet, but I did get a free T-shirt with the slogan "Surgery is the new sex."
Oh my God.
I guess that's, related to that movie. And I accidentally wore that to the supermarket one day, and I started freaking out that was like my T-shirt. I don't know what kind of faces I was getting with that on my T-shirt
section.
I might have gotten added. To a list at Giant. Please, Giant Corporation, if you're listening, just take me off the list if at all possible. Please. Did you watch anything else, Fredo?
No, that was it for me this week. How about you?
What did I watch? I saw the new Al Yankovic movie.
Oh,
Daniel Radcliffe Roku channel, John. I liked it a lot. I thought it was hilarious. Very funny. I'm not a big Al Yankovic guy. That's Dale, our producer.
Yeah, producer.
He's an Al Yankovic nut. But it's on the Roku channel this weekend, I think. It's on the Roku channel. So if you have a Roku, show sponsor, Roku, mid-range 4K TVs. We have Rokus in the house. I actually just bought a Roku stick because it was half off on Amazon for $24.
Yeah, thank you for that link.
Throw that thing on a TV that we have in the house. And if you don't have a Roku, you can still just install the app and watch it. I think it's just like another app. But it is like a Naked Gun. I compared it to Hot Rod. Hot Rod has kind of weird humor, but it's like Naked Gun. It's like an outlandish version of his story. It's autobiographical, but not really. It just puts a fun twist on things. There's one scene where he starts playing his accordion with his roommates, and his roommates are gobsmacked that he's making this beautiful music, and they're rooting him on, you have to continue this. This is the greatest thing I've ever heard. You're so talented. And the movie just kind of continues up from there. It just gets over the top crazy. There's even a bit where he makes Eat It, the Michael Jackson parody song in the movie, but it's an original song in the movie. And then Michael Jackson releases Beat It the next week. And it becomes a thing that popular artists are copying him, and they're trying to curtail his career. It's really funny.
How's Daniel in it?
Daniel's great.
Awesome.
Looks unreal.
Yeah.
He's hitting the gym hard.
Mm-hmm.
He might even have an 8-pack in that movie, to be honest.
Mamma mia.
Makes me sick.
Surgery is the new sex.
So we also, every week, we give out a free year of Letterboxd Pro. Gets rid of ads. You can sort your favorite streaming services. And all you have to do is share the show on social media or tag your review 70mmPod on Letterboxd when you're watching alongside of us. And this week's winner, Ewan, logged Halloween Ends.
Oh my.
big hit on this podcast a couple weeks ago. Gave it 1.5 stars.
Big log.
So Ewan is siding with you both. Kudos for taking a big swing, but it is ultimately a total and utter miss. Ewan, I don't agree with you.
Wow.
But most of the world does, unfortunately. And that's the end of that. Should we get into Hail Caesar? Danny's pick for movies about movies month, ma'am.
Let's do it.
On 70mm. Pardo, what's this movie? What's this Coen Bros film?
Eddie Mannix is busy running Capitol Pictures, a Hollywood studio that pumps out movies in the golden age. As he tries to juggle the fickle actors and directors on set, the nosy journalists, an offer of escape from Lockheed Martin to do serious work, he also battles with his personal and spiritual life, lamenting his time away from his family and his guilt in falling short of his own expectations. But when the studio's star, Baird Whitlock, is kidnapped and held for ransom before the final scene is set to be shot, Mannix is hit with the light of revelation and reminded why he does it. Hail Caesar.
Hail Caesar indeed. Clooney. He's back.
He's
We've
back.
covered Clooney before on the
I was
show.
going to ask that. I don't think we have covered a Clooney. Probably because he's terrible.
Batman and Robin.
Batman and Robin.
Batman and Robin. You're right.
That's a supporter app. So if anyone wants to
you're
hear
right.
our thoughts, that might be one of my favorite episodes ever.
It's a great app.
Remember the IG video that you made of
Is it
us
time for another
destroying
video?
that movie? We need to go back. Can we hire an intern to make those videos for us?
Yeah, please.
Danny, you're the one that chose this movie.
Yeah.
What's the background? Why the Coens? Why are they back after 2 years on this show?
You know, I don't know why I have an aversion to the Coens, because I went through their list recently, and I think it was just because of Miller's Crossing. I really just did not vibe with that movie. But when I look back, I look at their list. I love True Grit. I loved Llewyn Davis. I loved Macbeth. So there's still a lot that I like about them. So maybe I was a little off when I was picking this, thinking I had to redeem something in me with the Coens. But this movie, I feel like a lot of people at one point talked about it, or it just felt pretty big. And so when we decided to do movies about movies, this one kind of stuck in my head for a bit. And that's why I picked it. I really wanted to watch it finally.
The Big Lebowski.
I never seen it.
That's a Dune Pod movie.
Oh, wow.
I think half of the Dune Pod Discord has a Big Lebowski tattoo on their butt cheek.
That's true.
Big bowling ball.
Pardo, what about you? Do you have any history with this?
Well, I've seen it before. I guess I saw it. I didn't see it in theater, so it must have been like 2017. I watched it, and this was a BLB log. I had it 3 stars, no review. And I didn't really remember much of my feelings for it, really. But yeah, that was I'd seen it before, but it was, fun to go back. I was looking forward to going back to it because, the one thing I do remember about it is being kind of overwhelmed by the themes and ideas in the movie, and seeing it a second time, I thought like, oh, well, this maybe I can make more sense of it this time around.
The Miller's Crossing episode, probably like 90% of the people that listen to the podcast now maybe have never listened to that episode.
Yeah.
And I think I just, at the time, thought that like the Coens maybe just weren't for me. But I have seen No Country for Old Men. I have seen Raising Arizona.
Oh, yeah.
And Blood Simple, I think, was a first-time watch maybe last year for me. And that one was like, okay. I think that was just Joel at that time, but very good. I like that a lot. And that's streaming on HBO Max and Criterion. That's from 1984. And I think the Coens kind of have like a reputation for like a general vibe in their movies. Like movies look like Coen Brothers movies.
Mm-hmm.
And that maybe or may not work against them. I get this movie confused with, let me see if I wrote it down. There was another George Clooney war movie, The Monuments Men.
Oh, Monuments Men.
I thought like weird George Clooney movie. And then I was like, oh, is this Monuments Men?
Isn't he also in The Men Who Stare at Goats? Isn't that like another?
Who is that? That's Billy Bob. I mean, it's got like the usual suspect, like Frances McDormand is in that.
Yeah, Matt Damon.
Scarlett Johansson. So it's got some of the faves in there. So let's start with Danny. What's your number one note that you wrote down? All the hosts wrote 3 things. We'll go round table until we give our Letterboxd review, Letterboxd rating rather. So Danny, what do you want to talk about first?
The one thing that struck me the entire time watching this film is it is gorgeous. Every bit of this film is stunning. The people are stunning. The sets are stunning. The sets inside sets are stunning. Everything's filmed incredibly well. And when I was like, well, I got to look up Letterboxd, and of course it's Roger Deakins that's doing the cinematography for this film.
Wow.
So now I'm not surprised that the Deeks knocked this one out of the park. But there were so many moments in this film where I'm just like, this is gorgeous. The lighting in some of the scenes, especially with Brolin and his kind of noir moments of being the fixer, and even the like choreographed scenes of the dancing, and when you like go into it and it's like you're in the filming of this movie, where you pull out and you see the setup being made. There were so many very cool choices and shots in this film that were just kind of jaw-dropping. I was just kind of in love with how this looked. And I think it's just incredible.
Yeah, I was going to say, I didn't realize that it was Deakins until you just said that. To be honest, I probably would have put a ban on this movie if I had known. Just kidding. You couldn't throw a earphone without listening to a Tape Deck podcast talking about Deakins for
seriously,
many moons. But there was something different about this that I thought looked great. It didn't look like dated CGI riddled. Like I feel like if this had come out today, I felt like most of the period piece movies, oddly enough, I'm thinking of the Fantastic Beasts movies as like a real problem child in like dated old timey New York. Like that movie just looks like a CGI blue screen ham fest. It looks terrible. But like all this stuff looked really nice. Like the beachfront property, like that looked like a matte painting. Like there's so many of those shots where like, wow, that looks great. Yeah. And even the sets like you mentioned, like the backdrops behind the windows and stuff, it all looked fantastic.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's also chalking up to Deakins, because that house on the water is a set. It's not even real. The ocean behind it was a green screen. Oh. So you just felt it. You felt the professional, doing his thing.
Yeah, I was struck by just the color in it. Everything just like pops. Really beautiful. And to me, it's the kind of movie where the way it's shot and the way everything looked, you could almost watch it just on mute and enjoy it. Like I just enjoyed it as a viewing experience, regardless of what's actually going on. And of course, I love, period piece movies like this, especially with Hollywood. It kind of, it reminded me of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the Tarantino movie, which I love for the same reason of just being at like, older version of Hollywood. The one CGI shot that looked noticeably bad to me was the sub scene, though. That water looked terrible. But that was really the only thing. I also got a lot of like Wes Anderson vibes from this.
Yeah. I was thinking that too, with like the ensemble cast and the locations.
Yeah, I remember the trailer for this, and it was pretty much, just showing every actor that's in this, and you're just kind of like, whoa, oh my God. Just name after name after name.
I can't believe they're all in this movie. It looks so cool.
I actually, that stuff kind of like works against me. That was one of my honorable mentions. Like, can't I just have a movie without 50 big name actors in it playing bit roles?
Yeah.
Like, maybe let's give that to somebody else. And maybe it won't get made without them. Like, they need that star power to try to make the money back on these Coen weird movies. But that was just a thought that I had.
I think the same thing, but I think it works for this because it's a movie about movies. Like you expect all the movie stars to show up. Like the whole time I'm like, who are they going to show us hanging on the cross? Like, who is this going to be? And they never show it. I was so disappointed.
I would have bet money that it was going to be Matt Damon.
I was going to bet it was
this
Brad
is
Pitt.
Matt Damon, I'm going to lose it.
I really thought it was going to be Brad Pitt.
Marcy in chat says it sounded like Michael Cera. Oh my God, can you imagine if it was Michael Cera?
Oh my gosh. The Penitent Thief.
God.
Amazing.
We had, remember the t-shirt that you designed, Michael?
Got banned so hard.
The Sarah Skywalker t-shirt.
Oh,
that got
man.
banned off our storefront. The man took it off. Maybe.
George came for us. George and Michael hand in hand.
Can you take that t-shirt down, please? Proto, what's your number one?
My number one is the kind of, I guess, like the underlying themes and like metaphors that appear in this movie. There was a bunch of reviews that came through, and one review that I liked was from Megan in the Discord. She gave it 2 stars, and she just said, I don't get it. Shrug emoji. This wasn't for me. I did enjoy random actors popping up that I recognized, but that's about it. And that was kind of like my first experience watching this for this first time. Is like, I just don't get it. Like, you get this story, but it's kind of like a slice of life in, this guy's like a couple days of this Eddie Mannix you're following around. But there's all like of these like messages underneath that's going on about, there's the communist and capitalism factor. There's the religious stuff. There's they're making this movie called Hail Caesar about like this Roman centurion. So there's like all these different things, and it doesn't really, to me, it doesn't like coalesce in a like a clear way. And there's like so much that's thrown at you that even, watching it again this time, I just felt like I was trying to use a lot of brain power to like connect the dots. And the movie just doesn't feel like it helps you connect anything. And maybe you're not supposed to, or maybe we're just like not smart enough to like figure out what he's trying to say. But, It is a struggle when, because when a movie has that much going on, you want to be able to make, figure out what it's trying to say. And I wrote a review for this of kind of like just trying to like dump out my thoughts of like what this movie could even be about, or like what it's trying to say, because there's so much that's happening.
I tried to read between the tea leaves on that review. I was like, is this a 5-star review coming in for Proto, or is this a 1-star? I couldn't quite tell.
You have to play his reviews backwards, and it tells you his real thoughts.
Danny, I told you not to.
Sorry.
I have to record the audio of me reading the review and then play that backwards. God, that would be effed up. In that way, it does remind me, and I think maybe I say this too much on the show, but it reminded me like a play almost. Like this felt like a stage play a little bit, with the various goings on with so many different characters and the B, C, and D plots, etc. My number one, I mean, I think everyone knows what it's going to be.
Talk to us.
It's Eddie Mannix's watch.
Tell me about it.
Oh my God.
Tell me about
that watch is
what a gorgeous
stunning.
watch.
I'm just
Can I
searching
get
it
a
up.
picture? I don't know what this watch is.
Oh my God.
You didn't see it 50 times in this film?
I wasn't looking at his wrist.
They showed it a lot in the first like 30 seconds. I was like, are they trying to sell me this watch?
Yeah.
Can we get
They're
a photo?
selling the watch.
Crooks, that is not the watch. That is Michael Cera.
I'm not clicking on any more photos in the Discord tonight.
Let me see if I can photo.
Bamboozled left and
I'm
right.
trying to post a.
Look at that watch.
That's stunning.
Yeah.
I even wrote in my notes, do I need to take my Apple Watch off and put on one of my regular watches?
Right,
Like
yeah.
that's like the moment of the movie. I was like, why am I wearing this dumb Apple Watch? Why can't I just live a life where I can wear my other 4 different watches
I need
and
you
not
to live.
not sweat
For
that
the
I'm
people at
not count
home-
my steps.
For the people at home, the watch it's an octagon that looks like it was like squished a little bit. It's like maybe a watch for children. It looks very tiny. It has, I think, alligator skin for the band, and it's like stainless or chrome around the number portion.
But
What do
look
we
at
call
the
that?
deacon's shadow
The
on
face.
this
Tell
photo that I
me
just posted.
That Brolin's wrist, that watch is any smaller than a 41 millimeter. That's a 40.
That's
maybe
is low.
44.
That's
I'm
high
not going to argue
30s.
about the millimeters.
That's high 30s, low
Danny.
40s. All right, we got to move on before all the Big Lebowski heads have shut this podcast
I'm
off.
about
They're
to log
pissed
off.
about Proto's comments. They don't want to hear me go on about dumb watches. So, Danny, you're number 2.
Number 2, the star of this movie, Alden Ehrenreich. I could not get enough of Hobie in this film. He was incredibly funny. I feel like all of his bits hit. His bit with Ralph Fiennes saying the word that it were, like,
Would that it were so simple.
Would that it were so simple.
Would that it were so simple.
My dear boy, why do you say that? Why do you say twere?
Well, you should say it like I said it.
Yes.
Would that it were so simple.
Would that it were so simple.
Would that it were so simple. Would that it were so simple.
Watch my mouth. Would that it were so simple.
Would that it were so simple.
Keep your head still. Would that it were so simple.
Would that it were so
Would
simple.
that it were so simple.
I'm trying to say that, Mr. Lawrence.
Lawrence,
that made me laugh so hard. Like he was just so funny in this film, and I feel like he's shunned now because of Solo. I don't feel like he's popping up like he should, because I feel like his comedic timing in this was really funny. Him trying to say the lines on the couch made me laugh. Him doing the literal spaghetti western with his date at the table was hilarious. I just found him incredibly charming, incredibly funny in this. And I feel like he outshined everyone in this film.
God, what year was Solo? 2018. So this
2 years
had
after
come
this.
out before.
Yeah.
I agree. I feel so bad for. I mean, maybe he's happy with where he's at. Maybe he's doing whatever he wants to do. But
What is
I
he
would've-
doing?
he's going to be in Oppenheimer.
Oh.
So I guess he's doing really good
He's
for
doing okay.
himself. But I agree. Solo, like, man, the response to Solo kind of sucks.
Yeah, it took the wind out of his
I do
sails.
want to see him in other stuff, and it'll happen in Oppenheimer. But so that's a good start.
I mean, I want a Hobie singing cowboy western from him. Like, give me that movie.
Yeah, he's so great. And he's such like a Cohen actor as well.
Yeah.
He's so colorful. He's so expressive. And the scene with the lasso, like, did he really do that when he's outside
Right? That
of
looks
her
so
house?
good.
Yeah, it looked amazing. I could watch him do that for another 10 minutes.
God, his scene with the director Lawrence Lawrence.
Oh my God.
I mean, how many movies has he been in? The first shot, he's looking directly at the camera when he's
Right, that
walking
was so
by
funny.
the couch.
he didn't know what to do. But yeah, I mean, it does feel like Solo took the wind out of any sails of him rising to fame. But in this, he shines.
Pardo, number 2.
Well, let's talk about his counterpart, I guess, Josh Brolin,
Mm-hmm.
playing the lead as Eddie Mannix in this. I love Brolin in this movie. I don't know if I've seen a ton of him, I guess. Well, he has other Coen movies, the No Country for Old Men, Dune, of course. But yeah, I loved his performance in this. I guess I just kind of was, I guess, catching some comments that this character is based on a real person. I didn't really read up on that, but I thought his performance was really great and like well-rounded, of like showing this like conflicted guy, and like the scenes of him in the restaurant, like with this conflict of like, wanting this opportunity. And you can really see the struggle, especially the scenes with him and the priest in the booth. Like you can just really see him like fighting some inner demons. And you don't really get, and that's again another thing. Like I don't feel like that story was fully, like his arc was fully completed. But I loved his performance.
I liked how his character, when he came home at night, he was like still fully engaged with what was going on in the family life.
Yeah.
He was like, oh yeah, she was really worried about that. Like talking about his kids. I thought that was pretty cool and unexpected. Usually someone who works that hard or that much at like a movie studio or whatever, you would expect them to be totally checked out.
Yeah.
And their married life would just be in shambles.
Yeah,
Oh,
he was still having the conversation about his son's baseball team, and he should have called the coach and added that to his list of things to do that day. But yeah, I agree. It was great to see him not be some a-hole when he got home.
Right. Sicario, he was in. Cinematographer, we might recognize.
yeah.
I'm not going to say the name. True Grit, Inherent Vice, which got rave reviews for his role, but I did not like that movie. And then 8 Avengers movies or whatever he was in.
Who was he in Avengers?
Purple guy.
Men in Black 3 he was in.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. So he played a young Tommy Lee Jones. Spoilers. It's not a spoiler.
Huh.
Jeez.
It's not a spoiler. Let's see. We hit most of my top 3 options, but I do want to point out my top 3 are so goofy. I'm sorry. But the Capitol logo on that wall in that meeting room. Oh,
Gorgeous.
my God. I love that. I would have probably bought a book just on the designs from this movie.
Wait, the scene where he was meeting with all the men of faith?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my God, what a scene.
That felt like a total bit scene.
Yeah.
Like I was starting to get a little
Yeah.
worried if the whole movie was going to be like this. Like this is like a joke that dads tell, you know, in their friend groups, like this entire scene pretty much.
Well, the movie does kind of feel like that, though. It does. It's like borderline, comedy. I don't think it's far enough that I would say it's like a full-fledged comedy, but there's so many scenes that just feel like bits. And maybe that's like the weird thing about this is that you're watching this and there's like this story going on, but then suddenly it's like, here, let's take a break and have Jonah Hill show up and, with Scarlett Johansson, which I love that scene. I thought Jonah Hill was hilarious in that.
Yeah.
I thought that was maybe the funniest scene in the movie. Just his delivery
really?
is
Yeah.
great. Yeah, I love that. But again, it just feels, they kind of hit you over the head with like, oh, here's this, actor you all recognize doing this funny part. And then it kind of like throws you for a loop.
How about Scarlett Johansson's scene? They had like that giant production of her doing that like that swim number. I don't know what the heck you call those things. I can't remember.
That's what you call a swim number.
Swim number. And
Synchronized swimming.
synchronized swimming number. And then she takes off that like crown and zips it across right after the entire thing. My God.
I almost lost it when Wayne Knight showed up though as an extra.
I forgot about that.
God. He
He
looked
was
great.
sweating his A off too. That whole scene. Sheesh.
Mom,
Yeah, I didn't know anything about the communism, like the writing group that had been ostracized from Hollywood for their communist beliefs that were going to kidnap George Clooney. So I was like, what is going on?
Yeah.
What is Wayne doing?
Yeah.
Why is he trying to kidnap George Clooney's character? I don't get it. And then I started to be like, George, why aren't you asking these dudes why you were kidnapped?
Yeah.
He doesn't ask at all.
He doesn't.
Like at any point he wakes up, he's just part of the thing at this point. Like I couldn't believe it.
Well, he's so used to waking up in strange places.
That could be true. That could be
Hungover.
true. We didn't get Danny's third.
My
I think
third.
Your third, Danny.
The dance number with Channing Tatum. I was laughing quite hard. I wasn't prepared for the song to go from straight to gay so fast. It was just hilarious how it went from these guys trying to get girls to they were just gonna have fun with each other on the boats.
Right.
And it was hilarious. I mean, it just made me laugh so hard. Yeah, it was just a great scene.
There was like the scene right before, I think the first line, someone says, maybe it's the bartender, it's like, can you beat it? Or no, he said, maybe he says to the bartender, can you beat it? And he's like, you're going to have to beat it. Yeah, there's a GIF in chat. Ian, former producer, disgraced, Channing Tatum is such an underrated comedy gem. I don't think he's underrated. I mean, 21 Jump Street?
Lost City? I mean, yeah, he's pretty... I feel like anything he's doing is funny at this point, right? What does he do? Anything else?
He doesn't do anything else. He just
Was that
appears
Cloud
in cameos.
Atlas or what was that called that he did?
I will say he was in The New Guy or whatever that Ryan Reynolds movie is. He had a cameo in that. It was Dudsville. Every cameo in that movie was atrocious.
You said Ryan Reynolds, so I just checked out.
I'm sorry, Dave just went comatose on camera, just passed out.
these actors, they must have just so much fun though doing these scenes that are, set in old Hollywood. Because this is a scene. I grew up watching musicals with my mom and seeing these scenes. So like to be an actor in this day and age, and like the Coen brothers are doing a movie, it must be just so much fun to be in a movie that's recreating these scenes. It must be surreal too, just like the meta levels of, you're on a stage and like the movie is showing the stage, but then you're also in a movie making this movie.
Yeah.
It's funny. I watched an interview with Ralph Fiennes, and he was talking about being in a Coen brothers film. And he said he would have done anything to have been in any film. He would take any part in this film. And I was just like, I wasn't at the point where I was like, well, this is a Coen's, but then I get it. Like to be a part of something fun like this, I feel like is like an actor's dream for sure.
Yeah. I mean, they probably all have to work for free. There's so many big names in this movie. So buckle up. You're going to work for free. Pardo, what's your number 3?
My number 3, what? I feel like we hit most of
his watch.
Things. Oh, how about was that Dumbledore? Dumbledore is the narrator?
Yeah, Michael.
And here we are. Yeah, that kind of threw me off a little bit. I felt like like the music with the narration was so strange. I don't know if that was, an homage to something of like older movies, but it just felt very strange. Like the way his delivery with the music. I don't know.
I just realized most of our listening audience has never heard your thoughts on Dumbledore.
Oh yeah, you gotta pay to hear
supporter
those
episodes.
Pay up.
Dumbledore and what do you say we're from
Voldemort?
Voldemort.
both in this movie.
That's right. Yeah, they are. My number 3, I want Eddie's job. I want to live in this era and work.
To be a fixer?
I would just work anywhere in movies, like the sound stage, the movie lot. What a dream to come to work every day.
Frances McDormand having that little room editing the film.
Role.
She almost dies. I thought she was dead.
Reverse.
What a stupid scene. I couldn't believe it. It was such like a random addition. Like, how can we get Francis in this movie? Let's see what we can wiggle in here. I mean, walking through that lot is so awesome. Also, the shots of him walking through the lot, getting like his morning updates. And there's one shot that looked like there was like fog rolling in the background. Like that was nuts looking.
I watched an interview with Deakins too, and he said that Warner Brothers cleared out those streets for them to have the long shots of the studio.
Wow.
I'm just those sets. It just looked old school fun. And I don't know, like I would have not imagined it was very fun to work on those studio lots, but it looks to me as like a movie watcher, like, man, what a dream. Come to work every day, work those cameras. All these actors are like contracted to these studios. So they pretty much have to work on all this stuff. They're getting passed around to movies like it's nothing. It just, they portrayed that era so well. In my opinion, like I was transposed back there. Not that I was ever there, but it looked pretty realistic and exciting. Like I wanted to be there walking around right behind him. I'll give you the meeting minutes, cart me around, buddy, Eddie. Let me see if I have anything else. There's a lot of watch comments in my notes. Danny, honorable mentions, final rating?
Honorable mentions, Tilda Swinton was a lot of fun. Her outfits were amazing. I liked her bit role. I think a lot of my love for this film is because I was just at Universal Studios lot walking around, and I was already vibing with this kind of story. And I had a great time watching this film. It's gorgeous. I laughed a lot out loud of this. Like everything kind of hit for me. I do find the story a bit plotting. Like, I don't care about the communist aspect of it. That was kind of weird. And I don't think Clooney is great in this. I actually don't think he's great in most things.
My God.
And I don't think he's funny. Like, I don't think he's a good comedic actor. At least he doesn't make me laugh. He just kind of looks like he's just, I don't know. Anyway, enough about Clooney.
Bobblehead.
I'm at 4.5 stars for this.
Whoa!
I really had a good time. I really did enjoy watching this film, and I'll watch it again.
H is ascending right now, listening to this. Proto.
I had a great time watching this as well. I think this movie is a lot of fun. You know, it's like low stress. It makes you laugh. It's beautiful. Has a lot of great performances. I just had a really good time watching it as well. I'm glad, Danny, you picked it. I'm at 3 stars.
Whoa.
Yes.
The first entry of Ma'am getting a 3-star from Proto. We're off and running. Some of my honorable mentions: Divine Presence to be shot when he's reviewing the dailies or whatever.
Yeah.
Dang, this looks great. I want this guy's job. Oh yeah, when Wayne Knight gets swatted in the face by George Clooney's sword.
Wayne Knight. I need him more.
Let's see. What a throw with her crown. Beachfront house looks incredible. The Lockheed plot, trying to hire him. The guy that was trying to sway Eddie Mannix to work at Lockheed, he's like, what are you going to do when everyone has a TV?
Yeah.
Because like TVs were like just starting up. Moron.
The Russo brothers all over again.
We didn't talk about Tilda Swinton, but she was another Tilda Swinton role. She played 2 different people.
Oh my gosh, look at her play more than one character.
She's done it again.
Oh.
That was Proto that said that. For anyone who's firing up Apple Podcast reviews, that was not me, not Slim, the other Slim.
You can't prove that.
Not the other Slim, that was Proto.
The other Slim. George Clooney. I like George Clooney in this role. I thought he was pretty funny, especially when they're doing like the laughing stuff, when they're doing the long take of them laughing, having a good time. They're like, continue laughing for the fade out. He's doing these goofy laughs. I thought that was hilarious. And he has that big speech at the end in front of Jesus on the cross.
Yeah.
And like right before,
Squint at the grandeur.
he has to redo the line. He's like, I had something in my mouth. I don't know, spittle or something. And he had to like redo the line. That was cracking me up.
He couldn't remember faith in front of the cross.
The one word at the end of his speech. I thought for sure it was going to be Matt Damon on the cross. 100%. 100%. I would have bet money on that.
I would have put money on Brad.
Wonder who it was.
It was Michael Cera. We confirmed it on this podcast.
With all that said, I didn't love the movie. I had an okay time watching it. The Coen brothers, modern Coen brothers, I don't think they're for me. And that's okay. They don't have to be. So I think I'm at 3 stars for Hail Caesar! Exclamation point. We did it. All positive. We all liked it. It's the main thing to take out of this, Coen heads. It's the main thing.
We're off and running.
We are. We're sprinting forward. So let's get into our listener feedback. So let's see if I have this email here. Ian, not producer Ian, different Ian, left a letter that you can do the same thing using the links on 70mmpod.com. Ian added this to their top 4, if I remember correctly, in our Discord, and it left me shook.
Oh, my.
Once I saw that. Absolutely shook. Hello, friends and fellow film industry communists. Winky emoji.
Oh, gosh.
I thought I would finally write in for the first time since y'all are covering what is absolutely my most favorite Coen's flick. Shout out to all my fellow Lebowski haters and No Country-ers. Oh, I didn't know those existed in the Coens.
Wow.
I don't know what he just said.
It's very fascinating. H just went comatose.
Do we have to bleep that?
We might have to edit it so that Ian doesn't get attacked online. I just want to say how grateful that I am. Y'all are shining a light on this underappreciated, indelible, and humor-filled movie. In my humble opinion, Josh Brolin, ScarJo, and many, many others have never, ever been better on screen.
Oh, my.
Thanos, who? Black Widow? That is a spider. Thank you very much. My most favorite part has to be that fan-freaking-tastic scene with the religious figureheads ruling on the merits of the motion picture at hand. Bless the spot-on Jewish representation as well. That being said, this whole dang movie is a favorite part. 5 stars. Dreading Proto's incorrect but probably fair rating.
Nailed it.
Anyway, thanks again, and thank you from the bottom of my heart for building the community you have built. Thank you for being my constant in-ear companions. And an additional shout out to fellow community members Kevin McKenzie from Austin Danger Pod and Marcy and Dirk from the movie Mixtape for also always keeping me company on commutes and dog walks. Much love, all of y'all and the entire VHS village. Bye for now and talk soon.
Goodness.
What a letter.
I mean, we have to bleep those podcast names. They don't pay for that.
Those plugs are
They
not
don't pay for the ad
free.
space.
I'm cutting those out.
Yeah.
Very, very positive letter, predicting
Thank you,
correctly Proto's fair rating.
It is a fair rating.
Very fair.
It's as fair as it gets.
Always try to be fair.
You may not agree with Proto, but he's always very fair. Just
that
keep
on
that
a
in
shirt.
mind as he completes the investigation into who gave Bex a timeout in live chat earlier tonight. We don't know who it's going to be, but I'm sure we'll get to a fair resolution.
Yeah.
I think it's time for my pick.
I think you need to walk
Here
us
we go.
through.
Yeah, walk us through this journey.
Walk us through this evening on what changed your mind from what to what.
I almost don't want to give out my plan Bs because I don't want to take any kind of potential.
Okay, just send us a DM. Don't you? Yeah.
I don't want to say this was my plan B and then Proto pick it and it's oh, that was almost Slim's pick. I don't want to take away from any fanfare of a Proto pick. But I can say what I was going to pick anyway.
Okay.
So as you remember me saying my picks, I tried to go non-white as possible for my picks, and try to pick maybe from a non-white director, spread the love around and have us kind of try to watch something that maybe is off the beaten path. So I had one that was really locked in, but I started to wonder if it was maybe it could be a depressing watch and I didn't want to be a downer. But I still am fascinated to see it. And I'll wait until next week to see if Proto picks it. I don't know if it's going to be one of Proto's picks, but it was going to be Joshua Oppenheimer's The Act of Killing. Have you ever heard of this movie?
No.
No? It's on Letterboxd. It's like a documentary, so I'm not even sure if it would have been first.
We would have
I have heard of this actually.
In a place where killers are celebrated as heroes, these filmmakers challenge unrepentant death squad leaders to dramatize their role in a genocide. The result is a surreal cinematic journey not only into the memories and imaginations of mass murderers, but also into a frighteningly banal regime of corruption and impunity. So that would have been a hard pick, real hard.
Yeah.
So I didn't pick that one. I still am very fascinated to watch that.
Buzzkill month.
It's streaming in a lot of places. However, I had a different one that I changed to tonight.
Oh, let's hear it.
And one of the hosts just watched a movie from this director. Let me just read their review and just set the stage for what maybe we could expect. Well. I need to restart my brain. A wonder 4D rewiring of your mind in real time. Psychological warfare. That was a 5-star review of a movie from this director. From Proto.
I remember the review, but I don't remember the movie.
So my pick is streaming on the Roku channel, Pluto, and Hoopla. It's from Satoshi Kon, Millennium Actress. Animated film.
What?
Yeah. From the director of Perfect Blue.
Perfect Blue.
Documentary filmmaker has tracked down the legendary actress Chiyoko Fujiwara, who mysteriously vanished at the height of her career. When he presents her with a key she had lost and thought was gone forever, the filmmaker could not have imagined that it would not only unlock the long-held secrets of Chiyoko's life, but also his own. So this is a 4.1 on Letterboxd. This appeared on a few lists on Letterboxd for movies about movies, and I think this one gets real weird. I'm really excited to watch this.
Dang. Perfect Blue blew my socks off, so this is going to be something else.
Yeah, I'm excited.
What a pick.
No, it's all up to you, Proto, to bring a W.
That was another thing I was thinking about. So in the back of my mind, I'm like, we have a month with James Cameron movies coming soon. I can go outside of the box because all our white bread listeners are going to be feasting on those kind of movies in December. So let's go off the beaten path a little bit.
87 minutes.
87 minutes.
Oh, knock this out tonight.
All right, we're set for Movies About Movies month. We're rolling. Pardon?
We're rolling.
Closing thoughts?
Movies about movies. Sometimes movies feel like the top of the seventh, no outs, you're down a run, counts 1-1.
Oh my God.
Can you pull it through? Like, what's going to happen here? But movies always deliver.
Oof.
And they delivered this week and they'll deliver next week. Thank you and good night. But that it was so simple.
We'll see everybody next week. Millennium actress.
Oh, he dropped it.
Good luck to the Phils whenever this episode is out. $70mm is a tape deck production featuring original artwork provided by Danny Haas. Spiritual guidance and V'ger, the robot who loves movies, provided by Pertalexis. Producer at large, Dale_A. Transcripts provided by Sophie Shin and music composed by Cinematric. Prints and other merch are available on 70mmpod.com. This episode was mixed, edited, and produced by me, Slim. Support our Patreon for access to our VHS Village Discord to talk movies with new friends, access to our exclusive episodes in the 70mm vault, discounts on merch, uncut episodes, and a physical membership card mailed to you. To check out other Tape Deck podcasts, find the link in the episode notes. And if you'd like to support our friends at Letterboxd and upgrade to pro or patron status, you can do so with a 20% off discount using the links on 70mmpod.com. Goodbye.
This is a Tape Deck podcast.